Yes, indeed, because it seems that Fulham are interested in Ricardo Pepi, and we know that he has been doing quite well at PSV. Unfortunately, he's out for 2 months now after breaking his forearm. Now, we are hearing that Fulham have made a $38 million bid. That's around 32 million euros. And it seems that PSV want a little bit more than that. They are thinking probably around 35 million euros for the young striker, so about 3 million euros more. So let's get into it. Herc, I'm going to start with you because so many variables going on into this one. It's a World Cup year. It's a January transfer window. Does he go to the Premier League? Can he handle the pace? All the things that we talk about. Would this be a right move for him now in a World Cup year?
If he's going to play at Fulham, he's going to be the man at Fulham. It's a great move. It's a step up. It's a big move for Ricardo Pepi. It's just a very surprising turn of events on all levels for me. Here's a player who has never really been the man at PSV. Sure, his goal per game ratio is very good, but he's never been the man at PSV. And now they're talking about $38 million, nearing $40 million to go play in Fulham. If you look at Fulham's transfer record, that would make him one of the most expensive signings in their history. So he wouldn't be a complimentary signing. You got to come in and fight now. And that's, in its own way, got its own complications. Rodrigo Muniz right now is injured, hamstring injury. He was the man at Fulham before that injury. Now Raul Jimenez steps in. What's that dynamic going to be like with a veteran striker who's the man of the moment right now, with Rodrigo Muniz, who's 24 years old, who's a big frame, good player, who I thought was doing well at Fulham, introduce Pepi, who's never really been the guy, in a big club, certainly not at the level of a Premier League club, a team that's going to need results today. I don't know if this is the correct move for him 5 months out from the World Cup. It could be a blows-up-in-your-face type of move.
Ale, what do you think? Are you just as surprised as Herc? And if so, do you think this would still be a good move?
I'm so surprised that PSV are negotiating or pushing back on $3 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, you'd say take the money.
I'm like, wait a minute. You're offering how much for a guy that we don't actually start all the time and who's out for 2 months, and you're giving me this money? Like, do you know something that I don't? It's almost as if PSV are so surprised that this bid is coming in. It's like, wait a minute. There must be something behind this. There must be something that we don't know. It just doesn't matter if you're PSV or if I were making a decision for PSV, I'd be like, go on. Yeah. Sure. We'll take that money. Go on. Yes, absolutely. As for Ricardo Pepi, I can understand the allure of going to Fulham, and I can understand the allure of going to the Premier League. And honestly, these are perhaps opportunities that don't come around all that often. So even if it is 5 months out from the World Cup, if I'm Ricardo Pepi, I'm still out for a couple of months anyway. So now it's a question of whether I'm going to be out for a couple of months here at PSV or there at Fulham. I think it's an upward move for him. And I think his role is not going to change all that much. Whether it's Fulham, whether it's PSV, whether it's the national team. This is a guy that comes off the bench and gets chances. And a lot of the times, he actually takes advantage of those chances. So I think it's a good move for Ricardo Pepi. If I were him, I'd be excited to do it.
Ma, what do you think?
If I'm Ricardo Pepi, I'm paying the $5 million so that PSV can let me go and play, or at least try to play in the Premier League. Yeah. It's just different level. It's just different quality, different competition.
And full of lumps of Americans.
Absolutely. And even if Raul Jimenez is right now the starter, we'll see what happens when Rodrigo Muniz comes back, if he comes back at all in the rest of the season. Ricardo Pepi is used to competing for a spot. That's not an issue. And every time he's healthy, he's delivered. I don't think this changes the way Mauricio Pochettino and the U.S. men's national team coaching staff will see Ricardo Pepi. He will still be a part of the national team. And every time, as Alice said, he gets a chance, he scores. So his role is not going to diminish. I think it's the opposite. If I'm Mauricio Pochettino and I have a player like Ricardo Pepi who makes a difference, and I get him to practice day in and day out at the Premier League level, he's going to be a part of that team no matter what. So if I'm Ricardo Pepi, I don't know if he has $5 million in the bank. I'll go right there, get a loan, pay that money, and make the move right away. Because Raul Jimenez is not getting any younger, and Rodrigo Muniz is injured all the time. Yeah. He will have a chance to compete to become the number 9, the starter at the number 9 position for Fulham.
Well, it's interesting because I definitely want to talk about the comparisons to Raul Jimenez in a bit. But first, just hearing Ale talk and just hearing what Mao just said, that he would take it out of his own salary to pay those extra $5 million just to make this move. Because to hear that you're playing at Fulham, who have been on a good streak now in the Premier League. So I want to know, how do you think that his club future then would impact his role in this U.S. men's national team, even though Mauricio Pochettino has shown that he doesn't necessarily care who you play for?
So Mao and Ale are thinking about it the way that one would think about it if you're a player heading in. This is a massive opportunity. This opportunity won't come about probably twice in your career. But if we take Mauricio Pochettino for his word, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You've got to be playing. You've got to be important to your team. At least that's what Mauricio Pochettino has told us, and that's what he's tried to stay true with this national team. I like Ricardo Pepi because I think he's a goal scorer. He finds the ball, he puts it in the back of the net, but you can't put the ball in the back of the net if you're not on the field. And for whatever reason, over the last 2 years, he's found it difficult, whether it's injury or whether it's being behind an actual 9, the number 9, the man, team captain, Luke de Jong, whatever the case may be, to get on the field consistently. You're going into a situation where Fulham is somewhat safe, but not too long ago, they weren't that safe. And there's not too much difference between relegation spots and mid-table in the Premier League. This is a risky move for Ricardo Pepi on many fronts. We've already seen what a move, too big of a move, too early, has done for him. But he keeps getting those opportunities to get on the field, and when he's on the field, he scores. So I understand the ability of wanting to bet on yourself. I'm just worried that with Mauricio Pochettino and what he's shown and told us, being a complementary piece may not be enough for Ricardo Pepi if what he wants to be is the starting 9 for the U.S. men's national team.
Sorry to interrupt, but Raul Jimenez is not only the starter, he plays 90 minutes on a regular basis. And he plays 90 minutes not because Marco Silva believes he's Karim Benzema. They don't have any other option.
Correct.
And if a club like Fulham, that, yes, indeed, will fight to avoid relegation for the next 18 matches, Marco Silva needs another number 9 right now. So I have zero doubts that if this actually happens, Ricardo Pepi might even play more minutes at Fulham than at PSV right now. Well, and that will make a difference for Mauricio Pochettino, to your point.
He's got to stay healthy. You spoke about, Rodrigo Muñiz being injured. I believe he's got more games in the last 2 years than Ricardo Pepi. Pepi, for whatever reason,
because Pepe's been out, injured.
It's the knee, or it's the arm, or it's behind the 9. Trust me, he's a very good forward, and I agree with Ali. He just a guy who scores goals, but you got to get on the field to score those goals.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, is there a world in which Ricardo Pepi actually picks up his phone and not texting like Josh Sargent, but actually picks up his phone, right, and actually calls Mauricio Pochettino? Not that you would make him part of the decision, but talk. Talk it out to where you actually put some investment in the decision on Mauricio Pochettino and say, Coach, this is what I have in front of me. What do you think? What are your thoughts? You've been a manager of the Premier League. You've seen me as a player. What do you think? Give me your feedback. And in that way, you're actually saying to Mauricio Pochettino, listen, your view matters. Your opinion matters. Obviously, you're the national team coach. And indirectly, I'm asking you, is this a move that is going to hurt me or actually going to help me in your view?
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Because that's just a short vision for a big picture career.
No.
Ricardo Pepi shouldn't decide to make a move or not, depending on what Mauricio Pochettino believes is going to be better for his national team status.
Mao, the first thing I said is that this wouldn't be a deciding factor. It would be something that would open a door of communication with Mauricio Pochettino, and I'll make my own decision. I'll make my own decision based on what I think is best for me. But I'm actually putting some responsibility on Mauricio Pochettino, because if Pochettino tells me, as a player, hey, I really think this is helpful for you, and it's something that you would really enjoy, and it will be a step up in your career, and this and that and the other, and I end up going there because I want to go there, and then somehow Pochettino uses that against me because I'm not getting the playing time, and I'm not picked because of it.
So then you're not going?
Huh? No,
so then you're not making a move?
No. We're talking in the future now. I've already made the move.
Here's the thing. I know what both of you are saying. I agree with actually both of you. A player shouldn't make a decision based on the immediate, which is the World Cup. But players do make these decisions based on the World Cup. You shouldn't, but it happens. And we're talking about a player who, besides Christian Pulisic, was the leading goal scorer of this national team at the last World Cup cycle and didn't go to the World Cup. So that's something that's weighing heavily on his mind. So while I agree you shouldn't make that short-term panic decision on something that can affect the rest of your career, it still is heavily weighing on you. So I don't find it odd that he would seek or at least try to empower Mauricio Pochettino in some way to feel like he's part of the process, to feel good about the decision.
Liverpool are
still talking about. Are we talking about Pepi still?
Just getting started, Ale. Take it easy.
Reports suggest that the Premier League champions
a lot of
are
snow shoveling
prepping
going on.
a move for Jedi Robinson, especially with the rumors linking their tried and true left back Andy Robertson with a move to London to Tottenham Hotspur. So it's no secret that Liverpool were already courting with the idea of signing Jedi. He has been a hot commodity in the Premier League. Speaking of work rate, we've talked about that a number of times on the show, but can Jedi go and start regularly at Liverpool, especially considering their situation right now? Or do you think it is contingent on Andy Robertson has to sign for Spurs?
I think that needs to happen, number one. But if that actually happens, I think he can start right away.
He'd be better than Kirkes.
Kirkes has been a disappointment so far. Liverpool made a huge investment in changing the fullbacks, and the results have not been there. Both have been injured, but Kirkes, when healthy, he has been fine. He has not made a difference. I'm not saying that Jedi would make an immediate difference or impact, but he knows the league. Yeah. He's been a top player in that position for several years, and it's no coincidence that even Pep Guardiola at some point said, my ideal left back is a player like Antonee Robinson. That says it all. And the way Arne Slot likes his fullbacks to play fits exactly the qualities for Antonee Robinson. Now, again, the question, would he be able to stay healthy for the run of a season? That has not been the case, and that's clearly concerning. But if there was going to be a moment in his career when he can actually make the jump from Fulham to a perennial competitor as Liverpool, it would be right now. And I think it would be a good fit for both, for a player and the club.
Herc, what do you think on this one?
Well, what type of Antonee Robinson are we getting here? Antonee Robinson's got, all 8 games under his belt since he's come back from that injury, that knee injury that we thought was just going to be something minimal, that cost him half the season, cost him a good year with the U.S. men's national team, where about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, we were reading reports that he was sent back down to check with doctors to reevaluate that knee, and all of a sudden things changed. Well, it's only been a couple months. It's only been about 8 games. So what type of Antonee Robinson? But if it's the Antonee Robinson from last year that exploded onto the scene, double-digit assists, that was one of the best left backs in the Premier League, that is a force to be reckoned with down that left-hand side, that athletically is one of the best players in the Premier League, I think it's a no-brainer. He's only 28 years of age. If he's healthy, I think he's a player that adds tremendous value going forward, tremendous value on the defensive end. He's a leader, but it really stems on his health. And while I would love to sit here and say this is exactly what the U.S. men's national team should be striving for, I don't know how healthy or how much that knee can hold up with so little body of work coming back from that injury.
Right. So the question of fitness you can have about any player who's making any move. So if you're Antonee Robinson, this is a move that changes your career. And it changes your profile as a player. There's only a few clubs around the world that are able to elevate your profile if you happen to play well when you're at that club. Liverpool is one of those clubs, as well known as any other brand in the world. And it's a position of need for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So if he were to come in, and you know I'm a beacon of positivity, if he were to come in,
fit,
play well, fit, stay healthy, stay on the field, and that happens to coincide with Liverpool turning their season, then you start making an argument for how important you have been to this club. And it changes, again, the trajectory and the profile of his career. Most players most players that are fortunate to reach a certain level in their career, they hit a ceiling. And Antonee Robinson would have been at the danger that the ceiling was Fulham. Now there's an opportunity to break through that ceiling. And if it becomes available, and if it is a reality, if I'm Antonee Robinson, I'm banking on my knee, on my ankles, on my back, on everything, that I'm going to be ready to play, and I'm going to be fit, and I'm going to be good for Liverpool. Because, again, it's a once-in-a-life sort of chance.
How does this impact then, as Ale just said, Mao, because you move to a club like Liverpool, it's just going to elevate your level. How does this impact his role within the US men's national team squad? Even though, because just a couple of weeks ago, he was saying that he understands or he feels that his role there is no longer a guarantee because of his injuries, that he has to fight for his place, even though a lot of us would say he's definitely going to be the first choice.
I absolutely understand where he's coming from. If I'm not fit, if I'm not available, what's a cliche? Your best ability is your availability. If he's not available to the team, of course he's going to feel that his place is not safe. Now, if he's recovered well, if he plays consistently, shows no effects from his recovery, makes the jump to Liverpool, and Liverpool will have to compete at the Champions League level to finish in the top 4 of the Premier League. It's not a guarantee for Liverpool at this point.
No.
But as Alice said, if he becomes an important player in that run, in that stretch, I do not see any scenario in which he's not the starter for the U.S. men's national team. Before the injury, he was probably one of the safest bets as who will start for the U.S. Back to his health, playing time at that level. I mean, how is he not a consummate starter for that team?